Why, hello there, fellow governors. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Nova Roma. Episode 2, The Struggle of Attracting New Immigrants. Did I build another well here? I thought I had. Nope. Def did not. And here we go, Temple to Ceres. Welcome, my child. Here's a token. Please mind my divine tasks. Make sure I have more than 6 farms. Done. 1 granary. Done. Make an offer of grain. Don't have that yet. With that new favor that I just unlocked, I am going to get a forester, charcoal maker, clay pit, pottery workshop. Yep. But I'm not working on that industry just yet. I want to shore up the ones I have so far. So current priority right now is provide grain, grapes, and fish. I want to make sure that we have plenty of like no food scarcity, in other words. Yeah, the recently departed not being shown a respectful burial. Okay, I can make an offering of wheat. Yeah, I will. All right, now that we have that, I will also get a winery. As you can see, that's the next industry chain I want to approach. Now, as we get 50 citizens, we will also get our first governor, which is going to be kind of a big deal because they do provide a nice bonus. So in this granary, I'm going to set these to grapes. I bet you could have guessed that. Now, the lack of respectful burial is I just don't have any of the burial technologies yet. I don't have like a cemetery or crematorium or anything like that. If you're wondering, it would be up here, Undertaker, so on and so forth. Kind of deep in the tree. I'm just gonna live with that negative for a bit. Not a big deal. I can live with it. Alright, here's another insula, and that offers us 60 beds, which exceeds the 50 bed requirement, and that should help with city growth. What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to make sure that, yeah, I know, sickness. I'm trying to make sure that we have nice, happy citizens, well-fed, well-stocked for the winter, etc., before I start doing other industries. Now, Masonry. This building upkeeps stuff within its sphere of influence. I'm going to put the mason... I want to cover the shoreline. I'm going to put the mason here. For now, I only really want 1 masonry building, but like eventually you're going to have multiple. Was there a god that wanted to talk to me? No. All right, happiness and health are bouncing back, trending upwards. Another thing I could do, which might make them happy, is a food counter. Now that I have some coin. So food counter allows them to... So it's built inside of an apartment building and fills a tile with food counters. Citizens can shop here for an extra snack and chat. And I'll put it right on the corner here. So this insula will have a food counter inside of it. And once that's built, I'm going to reprioritize the food counter workers as well. And that should help with happiness, too. So we've got 8 wheat, 6 farmers, and 8 grapes. and 9 builders, which will be out of a job. Oh, there we go. Masons are now being hired. Now, in terms of masonry, this is definitely one that you can micromanage. If you don't have buildings to upkeep, you can just fire them and have them work as non-masons. And then as soon as you have like building maintenance to do, you can hire them as masons. The same could be said of like firemen and stuff like that. All right, here is the demand for pottery. I still really haven't resolved the whole like, and I'm going to unlock the Favor of the Gods for series, boosting the some of the grapevine. And taking a look at the needs, we really haven't gotten grapes out to these houses yet, but I'm going to assume that my current grapevines will do it. So let's start working on pottery. Set up the production chain for pottery. And that's going to allow us to do venting. So the way this starts is it starts off with a clay pit, and the clay pit has to be built near the coast. As you can see, it has an orange circle. People do not like to live near clay pits. I'm going to put the clay pit a little bit over here, not because of the orange circle overlapping work industries, but because if I want to expand fisheries, well, actually, is fair. Okay, no, I don't need to do that. There's better fishing elsewhere. So yeah, let's put it right here. So we'll get a clay pit going so that we can dig up our clay. Now that I know that I'm about to add some additional industries, it's also going to be useful for me to expand housing, because I'm going to have a lot more work to fulfill, because we'll have, you know, multiple new industries to be set up and possibly a new temple, etc., etc. Offering to Jupiter, sure. Let's see. Anything? Let's go ahead and get fine wine. Increases happiness from wine by 3. If I'm making wine, might as well make good wine. I ain't got time for $2 Chuck. Sorry, $2 Chuck. You don't deserve that. You probably do. And this will be our first stockpile. So stockpile is like a granary, but for, you know, stocks. So there's 3 types, essentially. There's granary for food, stockpile for like raw resources, and warehouse for productive resources. So a warehouse would be, if you mouse over the warehouse, a warehouse would be for like charcoal, tools, weapons, pottery, not timber or stone or iron ore, stuff like that. So clay pit and a associated stockpile for the clay pit. And here is shopkeepers. So I'm going to put shopkeepers here in the priority. And now 4 people are keeping shop here. And what they're going to do is they're going to aim to supply the food counter with food, with fish, apples, pork, grapes, bread. And it will provide happiness depending on the food supplied in the region. So as you can see, the food counter is very important for even increased happiness. And the reason I'm doing that is none saw fit to stay here through the last immigration wave, so that's going to be important. Now, for now, I'm not going to prioritize the clay diggers any higher, and the reason is I have a lot of building tasks, and I don't need the clay right now. I need the clay once I have everything else in place, so I'm going to wait on that. It's also worth noting that the mason does not cover the grape farms, so I would need another mason up here if I really wanted to provide decent amounts of masonry for everyone, but that aside, I know that for later. Why is there already stockpile worker in the tasks? The stockpile worker in the task is for the outpost. The outpost physically acts as a stockpile. Oh, we can appoint a governor. So here we go. Here are the 3 governors. Governors will have about a 4-year tenure as governor. And let's get Tollus here. I don't really care about building degradation, but increased immigrants would be nice. So he is a remaining 3 years on his term, and he is our governor now. All right. Citizens want a forum. That is another strain on their happiness. So we will provide for them. So here's the entire tree. Not all the texts in this tree are researchable. Most of them are, but not all of them. And if they want a forum, I'm going to need to... There's different types of farms. There's like stone farms and granite farms. Obviously, I'm going to go for cheap initially. But that is also, I think, what Jupiter is saying for me to do. So, got it. So here's the forum tiles. And they do cost gold. I'm going to have the cheapest forum because, yeah, I'm cheap. And then what I'm going to do is 3 forums there next to the Jupiter temple. And then 1 forum here next to the Neptune one. Snoozer, thank you for the resub. Cheers. Oh, no, don't do that. All right, so set to clay. Kicking the wood out. I don't want to store wood in here. So I don't have the clay running yet. And what we could do in this case is turn off clay digging and then move it up. And then we'll enable it when we want it. But right now, I'd rather be building. We might need a few more wheat fields to fulfill series requirements. Especially as their population's increasing. Because I don't really have the grain to offer her. Oh, fire. And his apartment buildings and okay, now there's multiple fires. Put it out, guys. As apartment buildings fall in disrepair, they lower their happiness as they're, busted up. This one didn't get busted up enough to change the happiness level, but the other one did. Which means let's temporarily open up the Mason job so that this Mason can repair the apartment building that burned partially. And it does cost resources, so the resources required to build the thing are also required, to some degree or another, to repair it. And masonry is a totally different job than building. They don't overlap at all. So, like, masons will not help you build. They are just maintenance. Well, happiness levels are definitely up. Health is pretty good because we have all 3 food types offered. I don't yet have like an undertaker or whatever. Surprising none saw fit to stay. Man, they real picky. Real picky. I'm up to the task. I'm fine with that. So the last of the materials are getting delivered to the forums. And now, one of the things about this house, let's say, is that it is pretty close to the public forum, so it gets even a higher happiness bonus. Obviously, the other ones are a little bit further, so they don't have the same... Actually, no, I think they're still getting hit by the... Yeah, they're still hit by the same forum bonus. Nice. And happiness should be going up as a result. And then, of course, Jupiter is about to be satisfied with the forms that we have on offer. So the next thing we're going to want is charcoal making. And I have to kind of decide where, like, the bulk of our industry is going to be. So I did mention that the only iron that we have is here. Right? So we have a little bit of iron here. There is marble. There's stone here. There's more marble here. There's more stone here. I think because the iron is only one spot, we sort of have to build our our industry over there as a consequence. Like, I don't really see a reasonable alternative. Which is unfortunate because it's really not that close to our... Like, this wasn't an ideal island, in other words. But so be it. So let's get a bridge over to the other side of the river. And that's where we will... Oh, and there we go. Forum done. Now Jupiter wants 100 citizens. With the forum done, what can we unlock? Stone Road would be pretty helpful in order to get the commute time down. Or a bakery, allowing us to bake bread. But a bakery will require us to have a reasonable amount of charcoal making first. Yeah. I'll do Stone Road. And the stone roads are rather expensive. They do cost gold, not for upkeep, but for construction. And I still know that I don't have, like, a quarry up yet. That is certainly something that we'll have soon. Let's get our first stone quarry up. All right. I'm surprised I'm not getting immigration. So over on the other side of the river, but maybe not where it's likely to flood, I'm going to get some charcoal makers. So I'm going to put it a little bit farther from the banks of the river so it can't get flood destroyed. And I'll put 2 charcoal makers down. And then, paired with the 2 charcoal makers, I'm also going to put a temple, once we have the stone, towards Vulcan. And this is for pottery, if you were wondering. Now, your citizens themselves can, like, kind of wade through river water. So they don't necessarily need a bridge, but bridges certainly help with their travel speed between land masses. However, they can't swim to the other island. Like, if you're wondering if I could... Yes, it is possible to colonize the other island, just not with the technology I have now. So, that's a future task. Now over here, we're also going to have a stockpile. So, we're going to want to stockpile wood near the charcoal makers. Actually, is this on... I guess I don't really care if it's on fertile soil. I'm going to have a stockpile here. And once we have the stone, we'll do the Temple to Vulcan. Alright, core workers are going to move up. And then masons I'm going to fire. I'm assuming... Actually, masons never ended up repairing that house. So, nope. Masons, you get hired back. Masons don't work very fast. They take them a while to do all the upkeep, because there's a lot of travel time. So once I see that 99 tick into 100, I know I can get rid of the masons, but it might be a minute. Come on, immigrants. It's a good place to live, I promise. 5 stayed. Okay, well, alright. That's good. That means people actually like it here. They're moving in. So one of the issues here is we aren't collecting any more stone because of all the building tasks I have, meaning that no one is doing land clear. So for us to build additional objects, we need all the current building tasks to be done, so that we have the manpower for land clear. We are getting a trickle of stone from the stone quarry up here, And yes, if you were wondering, I should indeed have another small stockpile. I just don't have, I literally don't have enough stone to stockpile stone. So we're going to wait for the stone for that, and then there we go. We'll stick a stone stockpile there for the quarry workers. Because otherwise, they're like having to haul their stuff over to the outpost. You really don't want to use this outpost as a stockpile later on. So try to phase it out as soon as you can. There's some grapes. That ought to help. Because, actually, most of these houses already have grapes supplied. They just want pottery and they want wine. Only one house is missing grapes. And with these new charcoal makers here, it's at the bottom. I'm going to keep them closed and move them up next to clay digging. But a lot of those builders are now finishing up their building tasks, and as a consequence, they will be able to land clear up some stone for us. Now, the other issue that we're going to have once we open this stuff up is this is a pretty physically far commute distance, and our people might not want to commute all the way out there. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. That and this zone is not, at the moment, covered by masons either. And if you're wondering, charcoal burners have a real tendency to burn down for some reason. I don't know, something about playing with fire. So, yeah, we're going to run into issues with that as well. But I think happiness is nearly an all-time high. So as soon as we start getting that pottery going, we'll definitely get immigration back. My people are just a whole bunch of potheads. They just keep demanding pottery. Alright, so this temple, unsurprisingly, is going to be to Vulcan, who can improve flame-based industries around him. And his first divine task is an offering of wood, sure. 2 charcoal makers, sure. And then an offering of charcoal, which I don't yet have. I'm also going to unlock his favor of the gods so that he outputs more work for the fire-based industries around him. And then likewise, let's do the same thing with fish. So all of our current temples are now boosted. Our small temples. Other size temples have different benefits. The small temples have like mini industry boosts. Six decide to stay. Oh, that's real good. Good, good, good. That's the people we need to fuel our industries. Alright, first things first, we'll start to build up a supply of clay. Alright, over here, this stockpile, I am going to do it like this. So this is going to be for wood, wood, wood. Actually, all wood. And then we're going to want a small warehouse. I'll put the small warehouse here for charcoal. Our insula is just about topped up. Like, we don't have any more space, so I'm gonna get oh, don't burn. I'm gonna get another one built. So we're starting to produce clay, but we don't yet have charcoal or pottery in. The pottery workshop obviously costs more stone than I currently have, and that requires some land clear before we can build it. And collecting fieldstone is a little inconvenient because you have to travel all the way out there, but it can scale up faster than like a stone quarry where we're just waiting. Alright, I have the stone for pottery workshop. And interestingly, I might put it somewhere around here. Because it's roughly equidistant between the, yeah, I'll put it there. It's roughly equidistant between the charcoal and the clay. And it's not overlaid where people live. And it's under the sphere of influence of the Mason, so it has a lot going for it. And next to this pottery workshop, we will plop a small warehouse and a well, because don't need things burning down. They will collect water from like rivers and other natural water sources, but yeah, you should have some sort of water supply nearby. Aldres, thank you for the resub. So our fishing is doing real well. Uh-oh. Another house burned down. Where our granary is like dang near full of fish. I could even potentially close one of these fishing huts if we really don't need that much. Although it doesn't, at the moment it's not hurting me. It just might be wasted work effort. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna close one of them. Only because once this warehouse fills up, any fish that we catch beyond that capacity just gets like, you know, spoils. It's not very helpful. All right, this warehouse is going to be for charcoal only. So I'm going to designate it as a charcoal warehouse. And I am going to start charcoal making. And then I'm going to keep the pottery making off for now because I don't have charcoal yet as a supply. And I just researched apples, but not because I want apples at the moment. During this year, 7 immigrants ships have visited, 25 decided to stay, and here we go. Who do you think that is? The bad guys. Invaders are approaching. Recruit a militia at your outpost. Use the militia to fight off invaders. Alright, so clicking on the outpost here, we can recruit militia. And it will muster a bunch of our citizens into a makeshift militia. It will reduce our job pool, obviously. So as you can see, we don't have anyone working. Like, this is why the priority matters, because we just drafted a whole bunch of people. So there's literally not even workers for like building, quarries, mason, shopkeeping, whatever. Well, that's because we're under attack. Alright, so here's our militia. There is attack bonuses of like flanking and height advantage and multiple targets and stuff like that, but I would say generally speaking, combat is relatively simple. Think like farthest frontier level of complexity, like walls, towers, and simple units. So I might have drafted the, I'm going to speed up the time. I might have drafted the militia a little too early because I'm just waiting for them to get to me. And here we go. let's go murder us some Roman invaders. So we have a 6% height advantage. We also have a big numbers advantage, even though we're like simple militia. There's a huge like player advantage in terms of, or defender's advantage, if you will. Which means it's usually not that difficult to repel invaders. With that said, you do later on in the game get attacked from a lot of different angles, and like, if you don't have a considerable amount of defense, expect a lot of your city to like burn. All right, so that ship is leaving, and I'm going to disband and have all of these citizens return home. City is full. Let's get some more insula. So once we have a little bit of charcoal built up in our supplies, I'll kick off the pottery making, which mixes clay and charcoal to make pottery. The reason I have it off is without any charcoal, the potters would literally do nothing. So, no point in that. And Jupiter is about to be happy, as we're almost hit the 100-person mark. Oh, yeah, here we go. So this all should be stone, not wood. The reason why I haven't built a forestry yet is, and with that said, I am going to put a stockpile over here for wood. There's so many trees around, I don't really need to plant them at the moment because they're literally in our way. We have to cut them down to expand, so that's why. This button here is how many idle citizens we've got, like unemployed doing nothing, which screams to me that I could queue up some more stone land clear. We actually have a pretty good amount of stone built up, but like there will be need for more, so let's clear this area out of some additional stone. All right, this was for wood. Derp. Don't build that. Oh, and it has a lot of wood in it. Good, that's good for the charcoal makers. So here's a little warning. Workers are spending a lot of their times commuting. So first, let's try to improve the roads here to industry. With the mega amount of stone that we got. And gold. And then if that doesn't work, we're going to have... Oh, and we have grown a village. All right, citizens grow tired of their governor. So let's switch governors. We'll go with citizen happiness and frequency of immigrant ships. Proculus, you're in charge now. That satisfies Jupiter. And with Jupiter's being satisfied, I want the Villa Rustica next. So I grab that, and I'll explain why in a little minute. But first, we are going to try to keep fixing up our, like, pottery infrastructure. Because our charcoal makers are basically... See this bar? They're spending about 2/3 of their time commuting to work, which is not good. And we're going to want... And here, the worker literally can't even get here in time. So essentially, there just isn't houses close enough to the industry. And I figured that was going to be the case. I called this out early. Just because this is where the iron is, so I'm kind of stuck with it being there. But the first thing we could try is to improve our roads so that we physically move out there quicker. But more than likely, that will not be enough. Shops are too crowded. They want more shops. Okay. So let's put another food counter. I'll plop it here. And then they also want a theater, which we'll work towards soon. Okay, these charcoal makers are very badly damaged, and they're going to require masonry repairs in order to come back, and we're going to have to put a basin down here as a result. Which is fine. Put the mason there. There we go. And we'll continue our roads. The last of the stone I have. Okay, Vulcan. Oh, you're already boosted. Cool. So we're starting to get the trickle of charcoal. Almost all the charcoal at the moment are being used by the homes for heating. But as we improve the commute times for the charcoal makers, because now 2/3 are done working rather than commuting, so it has improved considerably. We should get more charcoal and be able to start actually doing pottery. Now the this type of house, the Villa Rustica, has a sphere of influence bonus that increases crop yield around it, which is why I unlocked it, because it's going to help our agriculture, which is a really nice boon early on. So I'm going to put a Villa Rustica right here next to the wheat and grapes that we're growing, and there's already well access for this Villa Rustica. So I don't really need to do any difference there. But I slightly changed the roads to accommodate the villa. Okay, cool. Mason is in. Oh my god, I'm a mason. Look at that. I found me. I'm a former slave. I also seem to be a woman. Or just have a lot of hair. I'm gorgeous. All right, pottery. Let's get you going. I'm gonna open up pottery makers. Move warehouse working up to stockpile. Good. And I wouldn't mind incorporating a stone road all the way up to the fish too. I think there's a real advantage to having good roads. I mean, that was the whole Romans' whole thing, more or less. But I would really like to get a small theater going as well, which requires 3 points, which I do not have at the moment. So as soon as I get filled one of these things, I'll be able to do that. We're still working on that pottery. Alright, so now that the roads are largely in, yep, commute times are more reasonable. That's good. According to this pottery workshop, there still really isn't charcoal left over to burn, though. So I'm getting another charcoal burner down here in order to further expand our charcoal production. And here we are. So this is the Villa Rustica. The Village Rustica's bonus, as I mentioned just moments ago, is that it provides a production bonus to all fields and orchards within its radius. So there's a +1 for all of the fields that are under this sphere of influence, which is a really nice boon, I think. So you can mix the series blessing. So some of these fields, like this one, has Very fertile soil, a nice slope, a blessing from the gods, and a nearby Villa Rustica. So it's like more than double its typical yield because of all those compiling bonuses. Nice. The pottery workshop's actually doing some pottery now. And this warehouse is going to be for pottery. Once we build up enough pottery for the houses, and houses don't use pottery quickly. Like, obviously, you go through food pretty quickly. That makes sense. But you don't go through pottery quickly. Like, they don't have a bunch of links in their house smashing pottery for coins. So it's not something you have to regularly supply in high amounts, which is good. So once we have all the pottery sorted, we'll try to get a theater. So the current priority right now is supply pottery and build a theater. And I'm going to continue to try to, like, snipe whatever fieldstone I can find. Which is not that easy to do in the winter, because it looks like snow. But it's because I want to pave more of our roads with whatever land clear workers we have left over. Thank you for tuning in to Nova Roma, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow Roman citizens.